Adele is officially suing her record label for full ownership of her master recordings. And the story you think you know is a carefully constructed fantasy. For years, the public narrative has been one of a perfect, almost fairy tale partnership. The generational vocal talent from Tottenham, who, alongside the powerful Columbia Records, conquered the world with little more than a piano and a broken heart. It was a story of loyalty, mutual respect, and shared success. But a new court filing, unsealed just days ago, reveals the devastating reality that this relationship was built on a contractual time bomb, a trap set in 2006 designed to go off the second she became too powerful to control. This isn't just a negotiation gone wrong. It's a calculated war for her artistic soul, a fight for the ownership of her own voice. And we have the receipts that show how it started, why it's happening with such brutal precision now, and how it could completely upend the entire music industry. We've mapped the entire strategy, pulling the court filings, speaking to legal insiders, and tracing the money trail to reveal a hidden playbook. So what exactly is in this lawsuit that has the industry terrified? Why is Adele risking her pristine public image to fight her label at the peak of her power? And how is this one legal battle poised to change the future of music forever? The key to this entire lawsuit, the reason it's happening with such aggressive, tactical precision, isn't just about Adele. It's about Taylor Swift. The entire strategy was born out of a series of covert meetings that began in late 2024, meetings facilitated by none other than Swift's own father, Scott Swift, a man who knows a thing or two about navigating the treacherous waters of the music business. Per a report from a trusted music industry insider on October 12, 2025, Adele and her core management team flew to Nashville under the guise of a quiet songwriting retreat. The real purpose, however, was a 2-day, closed-door deep dive with the exact legal and public relations team that so brilliantly orchestrated Taylor's re-recording strategy. They didn't just share friendly advice over dinner, they shared their entire operational playbook. We're talking legal frameworks, media timelines, and fan mobilization tactics. This wasn't an act of casual inspiration, it was a direct transfer of tactical knowledge, a blueprint for a revolution. The proof is baked into the legal filing itself. Case number 7:25CV01234, filed in the Central District of California, uses incredibly specific legal language around concepts like recoupment accounting and promotional expense amortization that is nearly identical to the exact phrasing used during previous high-profile artist disputes. This isn't a coincidence. It's a signal to the label that Adele isn't just hoping to win. She's using a battle-tested, professionally vetted blueprint designed to systematically dismantle the very arguments the label will inevitably use against her. This fight was planned with military precision, years in the making. But the most explosive secret in this entire war, the smoking gun at the center of the lawsuit, is a single clause buried deep on page 87 of the original recording contract Adele signed as a teenager back in 2006. The clause, known internally among industry lawyers as a rolling perpetuity clause, is the real billion-dollar monster. Most modern artist contracts specify a term, a period of years after which the rights to their master recordings can revert back to them. But according to a detailed legal analysis of the leaked document, Adele's contract states that the label's ownership of her masters extends for the full copyright term, which is the life of the author plus 70 years. And most critically, that this term resets with each new album delivered under the agreement. An entertainment lawyer we consulted, who specializes in legacy contracts, called it the most predatory, yet sadly common clause of the early 2000s, designed to create a state of permanent corporate ownership. It essentially means that by delivering the world-stopping albums 21 and 25, she unknowingly extended the label's ownership of not just those new albums, but of her debut, 19, as well. The label doesn't just own her recordings. They believe they have a legally ironclad right to own her entire recorded legacy forever. This is precisely why a simple sale or straightforward negotiation isn't on the table. Adele's lawsuit isn't just a demand for her master's back. It is a fundamental legal challenge to the validity of the contract she signed as a minor with no significant legal representation and no real power. Unsurprisingly, the label isn't taking this assault lying down. They are fighting back with a brutal and deeply personal counteroffensive designed to reframe the narrative and paint Adele as greedy, difficult, and ungrateful. On October 9, 2025, a mere 48 hours after Adele's suit was filed, Columbia Records' parent company, Sony Music, filed an aggressive countersuit for breach of contract and damages. Their central claim focuses on the nearly 6-year gap between the albums 25 and 30, alleging that this extended delay cost them hundreds of millions in projected revenue and violated the timely delivery terms of her agreement. According to their filing, they are seeking damages that, not so coincidentally, equal the estimated current market value of her master recordings. It's a classic corporate hardball tactic, one seen time and time again. Make the fight so prohibitively expensive and so personally ugly that the artist is financially and emotionally drained, forcing them to settle for a fraction of what they deserve. Their PR machine is already spinning at full force. Anonymous sources, conveniently described as label insiders, have begun whispering to tabloids and gossip sites about Adele's diva-like demands during her last tour and her unreasonable refusal to engage in standard promotional activities. The label's strategy is brutally clear. If they can't win in the court of law, they will try to make her lose in the court of public opinion by framing her as an out-of-touch billionaire artist trying to break a fair and binding deal. The legal genius behind Adele's case, however, is that it doesn't just rely on arguing about abstract notions of fairness. It exploits a critical, undeniable loophole in her original 2006 contract, the internet. Her lawyers are building their case on the argument that the contract, written before Spotify was a household name and when the iPhone was still a year away, is fatally flawed in its definition of digital royalties. The document painstakingly outlines royalty rates for physical unit sales, digital downloads from platforms like iTunes, and satellite radio transmissions, but it has no specific, adequate language covering the economics of modern on-demand streaming. Per her legal team's detailed filing, this contractual ambiguity has allowed the label to miscalculate her royalty payments for over a decade by classifying billions of streams under a lower-paying, vaguely defined category. They claim this amounts to a material breach of contract, so significant and prolonged that it should void the entire agreement, including the perpetuity clause controlling her masters. This isn't just a minor technicality, it's the legal and financial battering ram her team is using to smash down the contractual walls. By proving a clear and substantial history of financial breach, they create the leverage needed to force the label to either renegotiate everything from a position of weakness or risk losing it all in a jury trial. This fight is already sending seismic shockwaves through the industry, because Adele isn't standing alone. While no other major artist has officially attached their name to her lawsuit, a quiet coalition of some of music's biggest and most respected legacy acts is forming behind the scenes. An investigative article in Billboard on October 14, 2025, confirmed that at least 4 other multi-platinum artists with similar restrictive pre-streaming era contracts are now in active talks with Adele's legal firm. They are preparing their own lawsuits, waiting in the wings, pending the outcome of her initial motions. This is the domino effect the major labels have feared for a decade. If Adele's legal argument that miscalculated streaming royalties constitute a material breach is successful, it creates a powerful legal precedent. It would give dozens of legacy artists from the 90s and 2000s a viable legal pathway to reclaim their own work. The labels stand to lose not just Adele's priceless catalog, but potentially billions of dollars in assets as their most valuable catalogs, the bedrock of their market valuation, begin to walk out the door. This is why they're fighting her so hard and so publicly. They aren't just trying to stop one artist, they're trying to prevent a full-scale revolution. Ultimately, this battle won't be won solely on legal motions and courtroom precedent. It's a full-blown public relations war, and both sides are using the media as a weapon with surgical precision. Within hours of the filing, the hashtag Adele owns Adele began trending worldwide on X and Instagram, a move that insiders claim was meticulously orchestrated by a crisis PR firm hired by Adele's team months in advance. They're positioning her as a quiet champion of artistic integrity, a mother fighting for the future of her children. In response, the label has been selectively leaking positive internal data and flattering anecdotes to friendly journalists, showcasing how much they've invested in her career, from the 9-figure marketing budgets for 30 to the massive multi-million-dollar advances she received over the years. They are building a narrative of partnership and betrayal, painting themselves as the patient patrons who took a risk and are now being punished for their success. Every public statement is meticulously crafted. Every no comment is strategic, and every anonymous source is a soldier in the brutal battle for public sympathy. The outcome of this case may ultimately rest on who tells the more compelling story: the teenage prodigy trapped in a predatory contract, or the global superstar ungratefully turning on the corporate family that helped build her empire. So this isn't a simple dispute over money. It is a strategic, multi-front war for creative freedom and financial justice, sparked by Taylor Swift's revolutionary playbook and fueled by a fatal flaw in a contract written before the modern music world even existed. Adele is risking a comfortable and beloved legacy to fight for something more: ownership of her own voice. The final, crucial takeaway from this escalating battle is that the very definition of artist power is being reforged in real time, right before our eyes. The outcome won't just determine who owns Rolling in the Deep or Hello, it will set the standard for the rights of every artist for the next generation. To see the exact playbook Adele is now using, a strategy perfected by another superstar in her own fight for freedom, click into our Fresh Celebrity Tea playlist right now. It lays out the entire blueprint, and you won't want to miss a single detail.